Hello everyone. Our lesson today, it's a continuous of the previous lessons of plant reproduction. As we said before, the part of the flower are male reproductive part and female reproductive part. The male reproductive part, anther, filament, and this part is called stamen, and female reproductive part, stigma. It contains stigma, style, ovary, ovule, and it's called carpel. This is the part of the flower. Pollination process is the process that the pollen grain transfer from the male reproductive organ to the female reproductive organ. And we have two types of pollination, self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination is the transfer of pollen from the anther to the stigma of the same flower or another flower on the same plant. While the cross-pollination is the transfer of pollen from the anther of one flower to the stigma of another flower on a different individual of the same species. This picture, it shows the self-pollination on the left side, either taking place within the same flower or with another flower but on the same plant, and the cross-pollination when its pollen come out from the flower on the left side to the flower on the right side. So that means the pollen transfer from the flower of plant to another flower on other plant but same species. After pollination taking place, the next step in the life cycle of flowering plant is fertilization. As we said before, after the pollen grain stick to the stigma, the pollen tube growing downward and transfer the pollen grain to the ovary and release the pollen grain inside the ovary until it's fusing with eggs inside ovules. At this time, fertilization is taking place. What's going to happening after fertilization taking place? The ovaries start to be enlarged and the petal start to falling down, and the ovary will develop into fruits, ovules will develop into seeds, eggs will develop into embryo. If you focus with this development, it's a very logic one. Take a look. On the right side, we have fruit. Inside the fruit, we have seeds. Inside seeds, we have embryo. On the left side, we have ovary. Inside the ovary, we have ovules. Inside the ovules, we have eggs. So the ovary, it becomes the fruit. The ovules, it becomes the seed. Eggs become the embryo. So at the end of this process, I have seed production. So after fertilization, we have seed production. What is the part of the seeds? Seed has three parts: seed coat, seed leaves, and embryo. Let us to see the function of each one. Seed coat protect the embryo from injury and drying out. So the embryo is the most important part of the seed, and we have to protect it. It's protected by which part? By seed coat. So it's coated, the embryo, and protected from injury or drying out. Seed leaves. Seed leaves, this is the part that's labeled with food in the picture. It's the part that's responsible of storing food. And the third part is embryo, the part that grow to roots and shoots and make a new plant. For this reason, it's the most important part in the seed. Because if it's injured or something like that, that means I will not have a new plant. So this is the part that's responsible for grow into roots and shoots and make a new plant. We have notes here. What is the first part that grow from the seeds? This part is the root. Okay? So the embryo start to roots and shoots, but what is the first part that grow? The roots. Okay, after seed formed, after the seed production process taking place, this is the time that the seed need to disperse. It's need to scatter. And this process is called seed dispersal. Seed dispersal is the movement, spread, or transport of the seed away from the parent plant. Why this process is important? What is the importance of seed dispersal? It prevents the competition for light, water, and nutrient from the soil. How many types of seed dispersal we have? We have 4 types, either by wind or animals or by water or by exclusive action. Okay, so depend on the features of the seeds, it disperses. For example, seed dispersed by wind, so it has to be small, light, it has hairy structure like dandelion, or it has wing-like structure like sycamore. The seed dispersed by animal, it has to be juicy, so it's eaten by the animal and drop them out in another place away from the parent plant, like grapes or berries. Or some seed have hooks help to stick in animals' fur. So the seed that dispersed by animal has 2 different ways, either by stick to their body or eating by animals and drop them out. The third type, by water. The seed dispersed by this way, it contains fibrous husk and it's usually waterproof husk. So it's trap the air inside it and make it floating in water. So it's take the seeds from place to another place away from the parent plant. For example, for this seed, coconut. The fourth type, by explosive action, and this is the mechanical action. This that seed that dispersed by this way has a capsule. When this capsule drying out, they become easily cracked and disperse the seed inside it, like ladyfinger. This is the fourth type of dispersal, either by wind, animal, water, and mechanical, as we said before, explosive action. This is different type of plant with their dispersal way. For example, this is by wind. As you see, dandelion has hair, so this hair, it help it to fly in air, so it make the seed go from place to another place, so they will blown with air. Or like maple or sycamore, as you see, they have wing-like structure. They have wing-like structure, so they also help to blown with air. Or the other type by animals, as you see, it could be juicy one like blackberry, so it's eating by animal and drop them out in another place. Or they have hooks, as you see in the pictures, so and these hooks help to stick to the animal fur. By water, like coconut, and by explosive action, like hazel and violet. As you see, they have capsule with different shape of capsules. After seed disperse and they become away from their parents, the next process that taking place is germination. Germination is the growth of seed into a young plant or seedling, and this process needs suitable condition. What are these suitable conditions? Air, warmth, water. So seeds needs what to germinate? It needs only three conditions: air, warmth, water. We have very important note here. Does germination need sunlight? No. Germination does not need sunlight to making food, because seed, it has its own store of food. As we said before, in which part of seed? In the part which is called seed leaves. So germination does not need sunlight. So this is the life cycle of flowering plant. Pollination, fertilization, seed formation or seed production, seed dispersal, germination, growth, pollination, and the life cycle start again and again and again.